Yeah, that song right there, man, that's Cameo. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's a hot... Hey, man, hold the camera straight, man. Come on now.
What do you think I'm doing, bruh?
Here we go again.
I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated.
Anyway, we down here at for the holidays and stuff like that. I'm kicking it at the loft out of Brickell, down here in Miami and stuff like that. And we just kind of like hanging out for the holidays, did a little Christmas thing, getting ready for New Year's. And we're gonna get into Cameo's Word Up tonight. That song right there is hot. What do you think, man?
Nah, I don't think it's that hot. In fact,
Word?
It's kind of breezy out here behind this camera.
Oh man, Word Up. I'm talking about like Word Up.
Man, I get the slang mixed up sometimes.
Oh, you don't understand what I'm saying? Man, come on, man. I don't care where we go, we got the same thing. I thought you'd be out here in the fresh air, things could change. I guess not.
Word up. The legacy, the funk is for real. I know you still listen to it now. Believe it or not, I listen to it every week.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cameo. Word Up. It is the code word, and Larry Blackmon made sure you knew it in one of the biggest hits of the 1980s. But what does Word Up actually mean? In the streets of places like New York, it started as a question of honor. When a man made a declaration, the other person would ask, "Is that your word? Is that the honest truth?" Over time, to stay ahead of the doubt, brothers started finishing their statements with simply, "Word." It was a preemptive strike to say, "My word is my bond." It evolved from "my word" to "straight up," and finally into that high energy call of truth, "Word up."
Word up!
Now that we know the word, let's get into the powerhouse behind it, Cameo. The story begins in New York City in 1974. Larry Blackmon was a Juilliard-trained percussion major with a deep understanding of theory and discipline. He formed a massive group called the New York City Players, a horn-oriented funk band heavily influenced by Parliament Funkadelic. But once they signed to the Chocolate City imprint under Casablanca, they hit a legal wall. The label was owned by the same parent company as the Ohio Players, and they were not about to let a new group use a name that close. Larry had to find a new identity fast. The moment of truth happened in a hotel room in Toronto. Larry spotted a pack of Cameo cigarettes, but for a man with a Juilliard education, it was more than a label on a box. He thought of the cameo in art, the intricate portrait that stands out from its background. That became the mission statement. He wanted this band to be the image that stood out from the flat background of the music industry. Through the late 70s and into the early 80s, they were a 14-piece funk machine. They ran off a string of hits before the big song we are here to talk about.
So shake your pants and you can get a thing on. Strange, and I like it. I'm living the single.
Unless you still had a baby bottle in your mouth, you heard those jams. By the middle of the 80s, the business was changing. The golden era was gone, along with the soaring falsetto of Wayne Cooper, who passed away in '84. Larry moved the operation to Atlanta and made the ruthless decision to trim the band down to a tight trio: himself, Tommy Jenkins, and Nathan Leftonen. In 1986, this lean version of the group entered the studio to create the album Word Up. Larry produced it himself because he already knew what time it was. He was not chasing a warm stage band feel. He wanted it tight, hard, and mechanical. The backbone of the track is the Oberheim D-M-X drum machine. It was there to hit you in the face. Larry and Sammy Merendino programmed that kick to sound like someone beating a big cardboard box with a gong mallet.
We were cutting these tracks for the Weather Girls, and I was out sitting in the lobby. All of a sudden, I hear somebody go, "Hey, man, who's playing drums on this? I dig that drum sound." "Yeah, it's new." And then he goes, "Yeah, I dig it, man." He goes, "You want to play on our next record?" And I look up, and there's Larry. And I'm like, oh, this is, yeah, we're getting ready to do a new record. And I was, checking out studios and stuff. And I really like the sound you got in there. So you want to do it? And I was like, yeah, great. So the next week I'm in the studio, Cameo.
Word Up was different. And I don't think the music industry was ready for it, but it didn't matter.
They pushed the snare and clap until they sounded sharp and unnatural, like a pimp slapping a trick in the middle of the street. It was not meant to sound like an instrument. It was meant to sound like power. The machine could not do it alone. They brought in Aaron Mills on bass and told him to lock in so tight you could not tell where the human stopped and the circuit started. That bass is aggressive, clipped, and disciplined. Aaron said, "Come get some." On keys, they pulled in the prodigy Bernard Wright to add sophisticated textures that keep the track from going flat. Most of the song rides on synthesizers, but toward the end, you hear the Brecker Brothers and the Uptown Horns come crashing in like a New Orleans street band. Charlie Singleton did a little background vocals, and his guitar licks cut through like a knife. Short, jagged, rockish strokes right in the pocket. This was funk with a new, metallic mindset, and had a little rock flavor.
Wave your hands in the air like you don't care.
Blackmon's nasal lead vocal was no accident either. He took the Sugarfoot, Ohio player's voice and pushed it further until it sat on top of the groove like another instrument. Behind him, Tommy Jenkins and Nathan Leftinet acted as a fully charged funk choir. And I would be wrong if I did not mention that legendary Western whistle like something out of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Larry Blackmon stood in the middle of it all, calling shots and shaping parts. He was working like James Brown, controlling the groove, replacing feel with precision, and treating musicians like components in a machine. When the record dropped, it shot to number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 and hit number 1 on the R&B charts.
It was before its time, and it's still before its time right now. Word Up.
But behind the success, there was drama. Larry ran the band with strict discipline. Resentment grew into years of lawsuits. Nathan Leftinet, Tommy Jenkins, and other former members sued Larry for over $100,000 in unpaid royalties and claims of joint ownership of the name. Larry countersued for trademark infringement, stating he was the sole founder. That slowed the groove. Though some members reunited in 2016 for a Las Vegas residency, the good feelings did not last. In early 2023, a judge ruled that Larry Blackmon is the sole owner of the Cameo trademark. The legal war left permanent scars. Jenkins and Leftinet now perform separately under the name The Word Up Story to avoid infringement. As of late, Larry Blackmon has stepped back from constant touring due to health, and his sons now lead the touring act. Oh, I didn't forget about Blackmon's signature piece. He rocked that red ball, let's just call it a cod piece, he wore in the song. They had to coerce him into it at first, but the piece became a bold fashion statement and an iconic part of the band's image. These days, it's probably best left sitting in a trophy case, though.
Got him!
At the end of the day, all we have left are the songs. And the good thing is, that funk will always live on. I'm Mr. Mindset. Thanks for checking it out. See you in the next one.